Empty blue sky. Take me on your treasure dive. I've got nothing to lose. After years with the blues. Oh, you know.
There's so many little turbo snails. We paid $5.99 for our fish tank for these things. What the hell? There's millions of them. There's so many. Look at them.
Oh my gosh. Oh, mine's still fully washed. Share with me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, cheers to. No pun. I'm laughing.
Lower them stairs. I've got all the tools.
Okay, so we just got home and there's a bird. There's a bird in our window inside behind the curtain. So Philip just went to go to get something. I can see its little shadow moving. We were just pulling in from going and run some errands and we walked in. Philip's like, there is a bird in the window. See his little, oh, he's on the couch. Oh, stay still, buddy. Phil's gonna come and rescue you. The dogs are not sure because they probably heard this fluttering while we were gone. Oh, hi, buddy. So we can really carefully try to get it. I wonder what kind of bird it is. It's a tiny one. Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Is it on the ground behind? Like, did it jump to the floor?
No.
It's a mystery bird?
What, did you not see it? So small, I don't want to hurt it.
Aww.
Oh!
Oh, so tiny.
Baseball skills.
Aww.
Okay.
It's so bright it's not focusing. I'll have to maybe get it outside.
Oh, gosh.
I'm trying to...
I don't know the proper way to hold the bird, but...
I want it to focus.
Zoom out, maybe?
This is a little guy.
Oh, hi, buddy.
Came for a visit.
Okay.
Okay, let's get him out.
He's super cute. He's cute. He's got a little white belly, a little
Hi,
gray
buddy.
head. Oh, he's like, I'm gonna bite you.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, let's let him out.
Oh, he
Let's
wants
let
to
him
be
go.
part of the English family. I know some orchard trees you might like. Oh, oh,
Okay,
he's biting you.
go. No, he's not biting. He's just like, I want out.
Aw.
Okay. Okay, let's get him. I don't want him to fly back in the house.
Oh, yeah, I have the door open. Okay,
Let's
hold on.
go where it's down here.
Yeah, down here it's beautiful. Why do all the animals want to live with us?
I don't know. Ready?
Ready, buddy?
Are you ready?
Woo! And here she is off. Good
Stay out of
job.
my house.
Good job. Oh, you just made the thumbnail, Phil. Today, I want to actually scrape off all of the old paint that's on the back of the doors. And we did just do a quick swish over with the black paint on the front of these doors that we found at the landfill. I still honestly keep looking at them outside the window thinking, how on earth did we find these in the perfect timeline for what we were doing for the build? Because sometimes you find things and you're like, one day I'm going to use this for something. And then other times you go and you're like, I know just what I'm going to use these for right now. And it was just serendipitous that the dump knew that we needed 2 amazing doors with charm for the front of our greenhouse. So if you can imagine this greenhouse just with a standard screen door or with these, I think this is going to really add that look that we're looking for as we decorate our greenhouse for different seasons and really get some life growing around the greenhouse and sort of get our gardens built and things like that. I just keep looking at them thinking they just add so much character, especially since our house is old. I think it's so nice that we have something that's super old like these. Like, I don't know what time period these would have been from, but I'm going to pretend that these are probably from about the same time period as our house because They look super old and antique, and they just kind of go with the whole vibe of the property. Nice Vanna whiting the doors there, Philly. We were in such a good mood today. The sun is so amazing. It's still a little bit chilly, but the brook is flowing. We saw our first heron of the season in the brook today. And just working on the greenhouse gives us all the vibes.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting all the vibes.
He's really digging the vibes, YouTube family. I had to. I'm sorry, I had to.
I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out.
So one of the things we did when we left Ontario was obviously we left absolutely all of our belongings behind, except for, like we've mentioned before, about 12 Rubbermaid bins and a couple of dirt bikes. So we left all of our pots that we've been storing over the years, just the pots you get left from the nursery that you can kind of throw starters and stuff into. We left all of our gardening tools and all of our shovels and pretty much everything and anything that we left. So we need to gather and basically put together a list of things that we're going to need for the property, which is why we're kind of like, every time we need something, we're like, we got to go get this or we got to go get that, because sometimes you don't realize you don't have something that you need until you go to grab it. And then you're like, darn, did we bring that or did we leave that? And
Is that in one of the bins?
yeah, 99% of the time, the things that we think we might have brought are actually not here. Which seems kind of pointless because we've had to repurchase everything, but it was actually cheaper to replace the things that we find that we need than to have relocated all of the items that we did have. We are going to invest in some new gardening tools, and we picked up a few pots today to get us started on our seedlings that we're going to grow. And then I think in 2 more weeks we get to go pick up some of our starter veggies, but we are sprouting some of our own as well. We're just going to get a few pre-started to give us a bit of a kickstart since we've never grown here in Nova Scotia yet.
We really want to try out this greenhouse. We're definitely going to start our own starters.
We are. Our apple and pear trees that we planted the other day with the boys Nana and Papa are growing buds, and it's so exciting. We keep coming out here to see all of the buds that are growing on the trees. Makes us so happy to know that not only did they survive the winter, but that they look like they're already taking really well on the property. So we have our 2 pear trees further down here. This is an apple here, our 4-in-1. And then we have one out there down by our hill. And then our gala was right there in front of the house. So wow, having an orchard on our property is so exciting.
I've been running most of my life, blowing smoke everywhere around.
I don't feel the overlap too much.
I've been searching, but I can't seem to find someone that can hold me through the night. I'll count to 10, then open up my eyes. If you're gone, I'll take it as a sign. But if you stay, then baby hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby.
So I found the vent rummaging around in the garage, and we had it for an earlier project, but I think it's going to go great on the back of the greenhouse because we do need some airflow. And I think Elysia is going to she has some idea for a cool fan, but for right now, this is just going to get some airflow, just what we need.
It'll be kind of sealed up if we don't have anything, and we weren't sure exactly how we were going to do a window yet. So this will give us a little bit of airflow, and then we can figure out exactly how a window is going to go and a fan. And then we don't know if what we're going to grow in the winter, if maybe we're also going to have a heating system in here, but we'll figure that out as the season progresses.
Really warm in here. I'm sweating buckets, and I just maybe dug 2 little digs.
Hey Phil, what day is it?
No.
Oh yeah, I see it. What day is it coming on? This is like day 9 of digging. But this time, best wife ever, Elysia's not digging with a shovel because he has a brand new pickaxe.
Oh my God. Just what I always wanted. Thanks, son.
It's not every day you have a wife who buys you a pickaxe.
My very own pickaxe.
Aww. We did so much work yesterday on the greenhouse project. If you missed the video, I'll put the card above for you. We are now in the stage of finishing off the plastic that goes on the greenhouse, and then we're going to be leveling out. And by we're going to be leveling out, I mean Philip's going to be leveling out with his brand new pickaxe.
This is team.
The floor floor of the greenhouse so that eventually we can either put some type of a gravel stone in the bottom or a mulch. We're still deciding on what we want to do to the floor of the greenhouse.
Yeah.
But you can see we've built our greenhouse kind of on a bit of a hill, so we have made some cinder block walls to be able to kind of level out the actual structure, but the ground is still hilly inside. I'm not sure if you remember, but when we built our studio back in Ontario, we hung some beautiful string lights, these sort of studio lights outside, just created a really whimsical look, and we loved them. So we actually got 2 strings for them for the front porch. But since it's so windy here sometimes in Nova Scotia, they're always fluttering around, and that open breezeway is just not the perfect spot to have string lights. So I thought we could relocate them and put them inside the greenhouse instead, creating a super cute like nighttime vibe in there. So in the evenings we can hang out, maybe have tea and tinker with the plants in the greenhouse and have the whimsical look outside.
Every step brings us closer to the most epic garden season ever.
We're doing the final paint touch-ups and then painting the front door. String lights are hung, all the corrugated's on, everything is built. Except for our interior shelving, which will be a whole other day because we're running out of daylight, literally. Well, right now it's gonna look a little bit like the wrong black, but this was the same color match as what we had painted in the fall. It's just called Little Black Number. Little Black Number. It's just a pure black, jet black. And so I think that'll be perfect, but it did have just one quick coat on it in the fall, so it got a little bit weathered already, just because we didn't really like finish it and seal it. So it's just an exterior paint. If we have to do a few touch-ups every year, no worries. But I think this is gonna look great on the door. So heading to the door. I can't put that interior plastic on until the doors are painted.
Right. Hun, what kind of things you gonna grow?
All the things.
Like all the things?
It's killing me that I have to wait like 2 more weeks at least for our greenhouses to have starter veggies. So, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to make a few greenhouse projects to work on in the meantime to keep myself busy with it, because right now we're finishing our kitchen renovation stuff. We have, oh, I was like, did we just paint that already? We have a lot of painting to do inside, just getting the rest of the cupboards finished up, and then getting our backsplash on and our wood stove installed. But the weather has been so nice the last 3 days. And Philip's mom and dad obviously just had a quick visit. So we had a nice little like half-week break from working on the kitchen, which honestly we kind of needed. Just rolling white paint can get kind of boring when you see the sun shining outside like crazy and spring is in the air. It's just, we just needed a few days to get a little R&R outside, even though we're working our tails off. But I think just a few days of that nice sunshine is just gonna get us reset to like finish up what we need to do inside, but still be working on outside projects at the same time.
I couldn't agree more.
Sing, won't you sing with me? Leave everything for me. Stay the night. Oh, miss your flight. Walk through the rain with me. Get soaked to the skin, feel free. Shut the world out. Let's hang out.
What we used for the greenhouse was some salvageable plywood to be able to create this whole base that goes all the way around.
Right.
And we were able to use these 1x6s to be able to use the actual like framework to make this kind of look a little bit like more farmhouse style. I wanted to frame this up instead of having it completely flat. And since the wood was kind of old and kind of dingy, we knew immediately that since we weren't building like a cedar greenhouse or something, that this was going to have to be a painted project.
Right.
When you're using salvage wood, I don't know if you remember from the fall videos, but the plywood looked super mildewy. It had totally been outside for a long time. It had moss on it. You name it, it was on it. So in order for this to look finished, we needed to actually paint. So we've gone with just a flat black exterior paint, which I think is gonna look timeless, especially think of like all the colors and greenery that will be in the greenhouse. And so I just think they're gonna stand out so nice against the black.
Right.
So salvaged wood for the whole exterior. We got cinder blocks for our property to move our little blue sky cottage.
I love that it's up on cinder blocks. Oh, I love it.
And so we had leftover cinder blocks from that project because we had ordered way more than we needed, thinking that we were going to have so many more under the building than the actual movers of the building needed to use, which means that we were able to bring them here and hoist up and level out the groundwork of our greenhouse here. So those were actually like super discount, and we were lucky that we were even able to get them when we moved the cottage last second. So again, super inexpensive part of the project was to be able to do that. Oh, let's go to the front. Salvage doors from the landfill. What? I can't even believe that we found these, and in the time frame that we actually wanted them. Double doors on the greenhouse to have that nice wide opening instead of a single pane door, I think is going to be an incredible addition to our greenhouse. A second coat of paint on the doors on the interior, but we were dying to get that clear coat on and be able to show what it looked like completely finished. So if you go into the greenhouse, you can see that we've tried to level this out as much as possible. We are going to have a flooring here in our greenhouse, either stone or mulch or tile. We don't know exactly what we're going to do. So that will be an additional cost eventually. But what we're gonna do is try to find something on a budget and like super on a budget, which is why we haven't done it yet, because we haven't found that great deal yet. We didn't spend any money on the doors. We spent very little money on the actual wood framework because we were able to just buy as little, we tried to get lumber as cheap as we possibly could. We used 2 gallons of exterior paint. I relocated those studio lights from our front porch, which were about $40 last year in the fall when we got here. And our biggest expense for the greenhouse was the wavy little foam pieces that hold in the corrugated. I think we were about $120 for the foam, which felt so silly spending that on foam, but there was no way to DIY those and not spend hours and hours and hours cutting out something or, you know, trying to piece that together. So we bought those already pre-done from the hardware store. And then the corrugated was our biggest expense at approximately $600 for the greenhouse. It was so hard to find. I had no idea it was such a hard product to find, but it's been back ordered and all across Canada you can't get any, so we were so lucky that we were able to find the clear when we did and when we needed it. So all in all, we are approximately just under $1,000 for DIYing our own greenhouse. And I think that is incredible because not only do we save on labor and on ordering a prefab kit, but if you look at how much the cost of actual like greenhouse kits or pre-kit builds that you can order and ship, the shipping and the cost of that would have been several $1,000s. And so to do this under a $1,000 budget, I think is pretty awesome. I wanted to give you that kind of thumbs up in case you wanted to build a greenhouse for yourself. I hope that this video inspires you to get your thumb a little green this year and join us in following along on the things that we're doing here on our homestead this year. We did it, YouTube family. We officially have a functioning greenhouse.
What?
Mark another dream off of the to-do list because Philip and I and the boys now have our very own greenhouse on our acreage here. It's just one more amazing addition to our English homestead that we're creating here on our property. If you really think back to a year from now, this was a completely abandoned property. The place was a disaster. Still some spots are from previous owners, but we're getting there. The inside had no heating, like no proper plumbing, no proper electrical, no flooring, no kitchen.
Aww.
Like you name it, our house didn't have it, and it also didn't have a family to love it. And so I love every time we get to check off a box of things that we are wanting to create for our family here on the property and just have one more thing accomplished of bringing our dreams into reality. We put literally blood, sweat, and tears into this greenhouse in the fall, wanting to have that dream of getting some things planted in it this spring. If we would have waited till now to start the greenhouse, we wouldn't have had it finished in the next 2 weeks to be able to get planting going, and we would have missed a season. And so last year we were really wanting in April when we moved here to plant some things, but it just wasn't possible with all the things we had to do to get the house even somewhat livable, to be able to get, you know, the process of some of the interior projects done.
Right.
So we were not going to miss out on this growing season.
No.
So stay tuned because we're going to fill this thing up in just 2 more weeks, show you all the things that we're planting, and we're going to start creating our landscaping gardening just on this portion of the property this year. It's going to be an evolving project, but we want to tackle some smaller areas first and kind of work our way around, see what grows here in Nova Scotia. I love you guys. Thank you for always cheering us on, and we will see you tomorrow.